Hello friends, welcome to BAMS Study Guide. Today we will discuss the next Netra Sandhikataroka, which is Netra Srava. According to Sharangadhara, Netravit Tvakshucha Sneho Dhatunam Kramasho Malaha. That means Netravit or the discharge of the eye is Mala of Majja Dhatu. And in Charaka Samhita, the factors responsible for the increase or decrease of these discharges are explained. And what causes the excessive or scanty discharges? It may be due to the enlargement and contraction of these concerned glands. And Yogendranath Sen told that these discharges will be reduced when there is Sangha. What is Sangha? It is the obstruction. All these are caused because of Ashruvaha Sroto Dushti. These Shroto Vaigunyas are Ati Pravritti, Sangha, Vimargagamana, which Vimargagamana means regurgitation or moving in the opposite direction, and Sira Granthi. Coming to Netra Srava, it is the increased discharge of the eye. It is also called as Netra Nadi or Netra Nali. Vishesha Samprapti of Netra Srava. Gatva Sandhin Ashru Margena Dosha Kuryu Shravan Rukvihinan Kaninat Tanvai Shravan Netra Nadima Dahike Tasya Lingam Kirtaishye Chaturta. This is from Sushruta Uttara, 2nd chapter, 9th shloka. Gatva Sandhi Nashru Margena Dosha. That means Prakupita Dosha enter the Netra Sandhi through Ashruvaha Siras. Kaninat Shravan Kuryu Rukvihinan means they produce secretions through Kaninika Sandhi, which is painless. It is an asadhya vyadhi and can be correlated with chronic dacryocystitis, epiphora, etc. Based on the nature of discharge, Acharya Sushruta classified it into 4 types. They are Pitta, Kapha, Rakta and Puya Shrava. Acharya Vagbhata also told 4 types of Shrava, but instead of Pitta Shrava of Sushruta, he told Jala Shrava. All the other are same. Videha also divided Netra Shrava into 4 types. Sannipatat, Kafat, Raktat, Pittat, Shrave, Akshi Sandhishu. They are Pitta, Kapha, Rakta and Sannipatacha Shrava. Coming to Pitta Shrava according to Sushruta. Pitabhasam Neelamushnam Jalabham Pitta Shravaha Samshravet Sandhi Madhyat. Pitabhasam Neelam. The color of the discharge will be yellowish or bluish. It is Jalabham, means water-like discharge. Ushnam, very hot. And Sandhi Madhyat comes from the middle of the Sandhi. So Pitta Srava is characterized by a water-like thin and hot discharge of yellowish or bluish color from the middle of the Sandhi, which is Kanina Sandhi. Madhukosha considered Pitta Srava and Jala Srava as synonyms because both have several similarities. Next is Kapha Srava. Shvetam Sandram Pichilam Samsravedyah Sleshma Sravo Nirujah Sapradishta. This is according to Sushruta Uttara. And according to Ashtanga Hridaya Uttara, 10th chapter, 2nd shloka, Kafat Kapha Srave Shvetam Pichilam Bahalam Shravet. So, Kapha Srava is characterized by white, thick and slimy discharge which is painless. Acharya Vagbhata has added that the discharge are of Bahala, which is large quantity. And according to Madhava Nidana, Shvetam Sandram Pichilam Yaha Shravetu Sleshma Sravo Asau Vikaro. According to him, this disease need not be painless. And he has used the word Vikaro instead of Niruja. Next is Rakta Srava. According to Sushruta Uttara, 2nd chapter, 7th shloka, Rakta Shravaha Shonitotaha Saraktam Ushnam Naalpam Samsravet Nati Sandram. It is due to the Visheshan of Rakta, and this Shrava has Ushnata and Rakta Varna. It has profuse discharge and slightly thick discharge. According to Ashtanga Hridaya, Raktat Rakta Shrave Tamram Bahushnam Cha Ashru Samsravet. He described that in Rakta Srava, it will be Tamra Varna Yukta and have Ushna in nature. Acharya Madhava has added that this discharge contains Dushta Rakta. According to Madhukosha, this discharge will be having clinical features of Pitta Dushti. Anirantara Yapi Prabhuta Srava Sambhavat. The word Prabhuta indicates infrequent but increased quantity of discharge. Next, coming to Puya Srava. पाकः सन्धौ संस्रवेद्यश्च पूयं पूयाश्रावो नैकरूपः प्रतिष्ठः. According to Sushruta Uttara, 2nd chapter, 6th sloka. Paka in the Netra Sandhi produces variety of Puyashrava, that is pus discharge with many other lakshanas. This is due to the visheshan of Tridosha. Because of the Tridoshas are involved, it exhibits respective symptoms. So here the pus will flow from Vartma Sandhi to Kaninika Sandhi. And there will be frequent discharge, and all doshas and rakta will produce this Puyashrava. Next is Jalashrava. This is described only by Acharya Vagbhata. He told this instead of Pitta Shrava by Acharya Sushruta. Vayuh kruddhah sira prapya jalabham jalavahini ashru shravayate vartma shukla sandhe kaninikat tena netram sarukraga shofam syat sa jalashravaha. Again from Ashtanga Hridaya Uttara, 10th chapter, 2nd sloka. In Jalashrava, the Prakupita Vata enters into Ashruvaha Siras and produce excess Ashru from Vartma Shukla and Kaninika Sandhi. The patient will be having Ruk, Raga, etc. Coming to its treatment, as the 4 types of Shravas are asadhya, no treatment is advised in Sushruta Samhita and Ashtanga. Madhukosha commentary has considered Puya Shrava as asadhya and others as yapya. However, Yogaratnakara has told Shraveshu Trifala Kwadham Yadha Dosham Prayojayet Kshaudrena Ajyena Pippalya Mishram Vidyet Shiram Tata. Trifala Kwadha should be used in different types of Shrava, and based on the visheshan of dosha, it should be mixed with Madhu in Kapha, Ghrita in Pitta, and Pippali in Vatacha conditions, internally and externally. Siravyadha is done after the discharges are subsided. Other Varti and Anjana yogas are told, like Patyadi Varti, Shashikala Varti, Punarnavadya Anjana, Saindhavadya Anjana, etc. We can also try Grahi, Shodhana or Rasayana yogas. Coming to Patyadi Varti, the pulp and seeds of Trifala are powdered to prepare a Varti for Anjana in Rakta Shrava. In Karpasyadi Varti, equal quantity of Karpasi Phala, Jambu, Amra, Rasanjana and Madhu should be mixed to prepare Anjana, and this application of Anjana will reduce even the chronic variety of Shrava. And coming to correlation, we can tell that in general it can be compared with chronic dacryocystitis and epiphora, and Puya Shrava can be correlated with purulent dacryocystitis, lacrimal gland abscess, Shleshma Shrava with chronic dacryocystitis, mucocele, etc. Rakta Shrava with hemorrhagic dacryocystitis, and Pitta Shrava with subacute dacryocystitis. These and all are not exact correlations, but just for our understanding we can consider these. Epiphora or hyperlacrimation can be characterized by overflow of tears from the conjunctival sac. The condition may occur either due to excess tear secretion or may result from obstruction to the outflow of normally secreted tears. Coming to its etiology or the causes of hyperlacrimation, primary hyperlacrimation occurs due to direct stimulation of lacrimal gland like lacrimal gland tumor or cyst. Reflex hyperlacrimation results from stimulation of sensory branches of fifth nerve due to irritation of the cornea and conjunctiva. And the causes of epiphora is due to the drainage of normally secreted tears, and its causes are of 2 types: physiological causes and anatomical causes. Physiological causes is due to lacrimal pump failure due to lower lid elasticity due to weakness of orbicularis oculi muscle. And the mechanical obstruction or anatomical causes include punctal causes, causes of the canaliculi, then causes of the nasolacrimal duct, etc. How to clinically evaluate a case of watering eye? It is by ocular examination with diffused illumination using magnification. Why? To rule out any causes of reflex hyperlacrimation located in the lips, conjunctiva, cornea, sclera, etc. It also includes regurgitation test, fluorescent dye disappearance test, lacrimal syringe test, Jones dye test, etc. Thank you for watching and see you in next video.